Hello, welcome to the Tracardi presentation. Today I would like to show you a new feature. It's called Destinations and it enables automatic synchronization of profiles to the remote systems. Okay, let's get started. Before we begin, we have to go through the data acquisition process. I will explain how the data is collected in Tracardi and how it is sent to the external systems. First, we have to click on Traffic, and we have three tabs: sources, resources, and destinations. Sources are the sources of events. When we add new event source, you can see that we have two different types of event sources. One is JavaScript and the other is API call. Actually, both are the same. The difference is that JavaScript could generate a JavaScript snippet that you can place on your website. So for example, let's select the JavaScript, enable the source and give it a name. Actually, I have one event source and I will use this one for the purpose of this presentation. Resources are the external systems that can be used to enrich the profile data and send the events to the external systems. When the event is collected from the source, it can be processed by a workflow like this one, and it can update the profile, and it can also send this event to the remote system. I will show you how to do it later, but first we have to create a resource. We would like to send our event to some API. I will select an API endpoint, give it a name, test API. I can give it a description, group it, let's save it. Let's make it a test, enable it, and here I have to provide credentials and access tokens. I will call a local Tracardi API that does nothing, just collects the information from the call and returns it. We don't need username and password, and I will set a test and production environment as the same. Okay, done. So right now we have a test API resource. We can use this resource to send events, and you can also use this resource to send profile data. So for example, if we set this resource to an API of an external system, we can send the data that we've collected in Tracardi to that system. And right now we have another tab. This is a new feature. It's called Destinations. Destinations is a list of services where Tracardi will send profile data, and destinations will be triggered only when the profile changes. So for example, when we be processing profile, and if there is a change in the profile, the system will detect this and will trigger this destination. The whole process of the synchronization depends on the configuration of the system, because when the destination synchronization is triggered, it can be postponed till the end of the stream of the events. So for example, somebody is clicking on our page very frequently. We don't want to send this information to the external system with every click. We just want to send it when the customer stops clicking and we have like a new profile of a customer, and then after, for example, 30 seconds we send it to the external system. Right now I will add new destination, and it will be based on the test API I've just created on that resource. I said the test destination. Here we go, we have prerequisites. Prerequisites is a type of condition that has to be met before the data is sent to the destination. For example, some destinations require that we have a valid email. When we send data to Mautic, for example, this is an automation platform, we need a valid email. Right now I could just type like profile PII email exists. The system will check if inside the profile that is processed we have an email that exists. But right now I will not check this because I'm sending just simple data, and the next configuration is data mapping. Right now we can map the data from the profile to the schema of the external system. So for example, we could just send some data like email, that I need the data from profile email. I can also send some information about the name, the same, or maybe this is like PAI and name here, and I need this data from name, PII name. So as you can see, you can remap the internal profile from Tracardi to meet the schema of an external system. And this is a destination settings. So I will be sending this data with post method. This is a timeout and what kind of headers I'm sending. So this is just a setting of this particular destination, that is the test API. If we send to some external systems, this configuration may be a bit different. So let's save it. Okay, I have to enable it because the profile will not be sent to the deactivated destinations. First, we'll see the processing of the event, and I have a simple workflow defined, and obviously this workflow has to update profile. This one does something like this. It just increases the views and increase the visits inside the profile and updates the profile. And if we go to the rules, you can see that if there is an event on test source that I've created before, and if it is a page view event type, then I will run this workflow. This is the count page views. This is the actual workflow. You can go to the test section and I select the test source. So I'll be sending page view through the event source test source, and the properties, the payload will be empty. As we can see, the views increased, and when I'm clicking, you can see that the views are increasing and the profile is updated. After the profile update, the system recognizes it and sends it to the destination. You can just go to the monitoring and see logs, and we can see that we have one error. Why is that? Because right now I don't have a Redis configured, and this is like a prerequisite for this functionality. Let me start Redis and we'll see how the destinations work. Okay, Redis is running. Let's repeat the test, and right now I will click 2 times. That means I'm simulating like a click stream, and that sends a stream of events to Tracardi. And let's go to monitoring, and right now we can see that the profile changed and the destination was scheduled to run. We should see in logs, you can see that the system just sent the data to the health check. One very interesting thing is that you can see that the call was postponed. It means that execution was postponed for 5 seconds. After the second click, it said, okay, just wait 5 seconds and see if there is no other click, because we don't want to connect to health check 2 times, just 1 time. So you can see there is a track. First track, there's a second track. This is just my clicks, and then after 5 seconds, the system connected to health check and send the data. And this is actually it. You can create multiple destinations. Right now we have actually 3 resources that can be connected as destinations. One is Mautic, and you can configure this setting a public, private key and API URL, and then in destinations you can create new destinations for Mautic and then configure it. The system then will just monitor if the profile changed. If it changed, then it will apply the prerequisites and check if, for example, email in the profile exists, and then make a mapping of the data and just map the data from the profile in Tracardi into a profile that is in Mautic. This is it. This is how destinations work in Tracardi. If you are interested in other Tracardi features or other customer data platforms, please subscribe to my channel.